All right, so we're getting ready to take off here. Just do a quick walk around. Make sure everything looks good. All the lugs and all that look good. Make sure there's nothing loose on the body. You know, every time you take off, you got to do an inspection to make sure everything is good, you know. So you just want to look. I like to look in my chain box and make sure my chains didn't get stolen. I do that every shift. Just look at it, make sure nothing is hanging, appears loose or anything like that. All the brackets are all on, you know. Make sure there's no play in the tires, you know. A lot of people will do the hammer thing, and I'll do that too, but make sure that they're not flat or whatever. Just look it over real good. That's how they do that thing there. That's how it's done though. Make sure the tread depth is good. Stuff like that. You always just want to look it over before, just in case you get pulled into a yard, you know. Little stuff like that. It's always good to do that. Check underneath the hood. Make sure there's nothing loose, nothing leaks. You know, just make sure everything looks good. Make sure your coolant's good. It's a little low, but it's not too bad. Check this. See, this is like the water's way up here. That separates the water out of the line, so we're gonna have to change this when we do our reset. Have it changed out. This shouldn't show at all. When it gets higher, that means that it's time to change it. Check the oil. Always check your oil. Make sure there's nothing get into the oil and that you got a good stick. Make sure the top half looks good. All these little injectors and stuff like that, make sure they're not leaking. Little stuff like that you want to pay attention to. And then you start it up, let it prime. It does like 2 or 3 clicks. Once the click stops, then you start it up. Good start. Engine sounds really nice. So we took our truck in not too long ago because I kept having to fill this reservoir up, so we took it to this local Freightliner place here next to Wilmer, not off the Twin Premier, and they said that the radiator was fine. I said, well, why is it leaking? They says, well, we can't find anything, and I just found the leak. I think it's coming out of this little crack here, so I'm gonna have to get that reservoir replaced. So I don't know, sometimes the professionals overlook it or they're not experienced enough, so I knew there was something wrong, but anyway, I'm glad I found it. So we'll get that changed out, and we'll get a brand new reservoir put in. So that's our next project when we reset.